What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on AEW. It is Saturday night, June 24th, 2023. This is your AEW Collision review, the night before what's probably going to be, as of right now, the best pay-per-view of the year, Forbidden Door. With the way the lineup is shaping up to be tomorrow night, um, I think it's going to be an amazing show. As far as tonight goes, I thought tonight was another really good show. I don't know what show I prefer, but I thought the in-ring action was very good tonight. The main event was excellent. I loved the ending. I didn't expect it, but I loved it. And the Guns are officially in Bullet Club Gold. I got a lot to say about the Guns. Later on, when we get to that match, we had Strickland talk about Hiroshi Tanahashi. We got a cameo from MJF tonight, a very short cameo that we're going to talk about. Brody King wrestled Andrade El Idolo in a hard-hitting match. Another banger from Andrade, and also we heard from Christian Cage and the TNT champion, Luchasaurus, and Christian, of course, cut another good promo. So we got all that to talk about tonight. I thought the pacing on this show was really well, too. On the show on Wednesday, I understand it's a go-home show, and I understand they have a ton of angles to shoot for matches at Forbidden Door, but the pacing on Wednesday, which again was a good show, but it was go, 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 go. We gotta go. We gotta go to the next segment. We gotta go backstage. We gotta go to the next match. It was very fast. Very, very fast. Tonight's pacing, I liked it. Talking segment to begin the show. A match here. A match there. The 2 hours flew by. Again, it absolutely flew by. And it was the same feeling as last week. And that's how I feel when I watch most of the AEW shows, especially the past couple weeks, man. Because I'm telling you, since Double or Nothing, this company has been absolutely on fire. I saw a tweet this week, and someone was like, "Is AEW getting hot again?" And I'm like, "You just starting to watch the show again? Have you not watched beforehand?" At Double or Nothing, Double or Nothing is when they started to get hot. And then they had constant good shows after that, and it led to the hype of the debut of Collision last week, and the hype delivered. It exceeded expectations, and the show was great last week. The show was getting really good, and now you got the hype for Forbidden Door. The hype for tomorrow's show is unreal. There's a ton of hype going into the show tomorrow. A lot of people are looking forward to it, man. You got what's probably going to be 2 5-star matches in Omega and Ospreay and Okada and Danielson. You got MJF and Tanahashi, Jungle Boy and Sonata, which I will say, last night I didn't watch the show because I was at a baseball game, but I watched highlights of Rampage, and Jungle Boy was getting booed in a match with Dookie last night, and he was showing his frustration, and he beat Dookie with Sonata's finisher, and he would not let go. So he was showing that he was definitely showing that aggressive side of himself, and I thought they were going to wait off for the heel turn. So I'm looking to that. I'm looking forward to that match even more because him getting booed in the crowd, I do think he'll get booed tomorrow night. Right now, he's AEW's version. Right now he's Cody Rhodes. Remember when Cody Rhodes used to get booed all the time in 2021, early 2022? Jungle Boy's, it's not as bad, but he's heading down there. And I think tomorrow night they're going to turn him heel. He's going to lose yet another world championship match, and it's going to absolutely set him off. So, but those are the top matches tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to the rest on the show. So, and if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead check out Wednesday's Dynamite review, and Thursday, myself, Wesley Williams, and Cameron Johnson, we did preview and predictions for the Forbidden Door show Sunday night. So if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check all that out. So we opened up the show with Tony Schiavone in the middle of the ring, and he was introducing Darby Allin and Sting, and he was giving Sting this long introduction, his long accolades, and Schiavone ultimately got interrupted by Chris Jericho. He interrupted Schiavone, and he didn't really have much to say tonight. Sammy Guevara was not there. He came out with Minoru Suzuki, and weirdly enough, this is like the odd couple now, because Wednesday night they did that like Sox Scott's pros. It's usually Sammy Guevara who does it. Wednesday night Suzuki did it. Now tonight, all of a sudden, he's pulling out handshakes with Suzuki. These guys have become best friends in the span of 3 days. That's impressive. That's impressive. But he really didn't do much talking because he said Sting and Darby, they're acting like cowards. And he said Sammy Guevara might not be here tonight, but he's one of the best high flyers in this generation and of all time. And Sammy Guevara is going to kick Darby's ass. And then they got tired of hearing Jericho, and Sting and Darby came out. And Darby was like, Sammy, I know you're watching from home. You're not here tonight. But if you show up tomorrow, just know that I am going to kick your ass. And this was all a tease of who was going to be the mystery partner for Sting and Darby Allin. It was super obvious of who it was going to be. Once Darby Allin said, you made a lot of enemies in a lot of places, you knew it was going to be a New Japan guy. It was going to be Tetsuya Naito. And believe it or not, it was Tetsuya Naito. Darby was talking, and the crowd was chanting, Naito, Naito. And Sting whispered the partner in Jericho's ear. And Jericho's like, no way, you're joking. And all this stuff. And Naito came out. He got a really nice reaction. He walked down to the ring, face to face with Suzuki, and face to face with Jericho. And Jericho and Minoru Suzuki got out of the ring, and that was the segment. So, fine segment to open up the show. It was super obvious that Tetsuya Naito was going to be the mystery partner for Sting and Darby Allin. Now tomorrow we'll get the first AEW altercation between Sting and Sting and Chris Jericho, and for the first time in 4 years, I think it is, we'll get Tetsuya Naito and Chris Jericho in the same ring, which is pretty cool. I'm actually really looking forward to that match, and I think that could be really fun. I think that could end up being a really fun match. We opened up the program with Swerve Strickland against Hiroshi Tanahashi, and going into the night, this was the match I was looking forward to the most. I saw this match. I'm like, oh, this could be a really damn good match, man. This could be a great match if you give these guys time. They didn't have a bad match, but you had to have seen that Tanahashi was moving kind of slow in the ring. And I felt like he was trying to keep up with Strickland for a little bit. Um, it felt like Strickland had to slow down the pace a little bit too in order for Tanahashi to keep up with him. So it was kind of weird. At the end, they ended up having a good match. The match was fine. Tanahashi slipped. Um, Tanahashi slipped. Um, Going for his finisher with just the frog splash, and they worked really well around it because Strickland was able to capitalize. He was able to give Tanahashi a couple punches to the head. Tanahashi then countered back with a forearm strike. Strickland fell. Nice frog splash by Tanahashi, and Tanahashi gets the win over Swerve Strickland on Collision. Then afterwards, MJF's music hits, and the crowd roars an eruption, thinking that we're about to see MJF in the arena. MJF appears via satellite, and he's like, "You don't think that I would be this dumb to be in the arena tonight, just one night before our match?" And he said, "Speaking of our match, you're lucky that I'm even giving you this opportunity because your rinky dink promotion sucks." And he said, "I'm not looking forward to tomorrow night at all. I have no interest in watching wannabe New Japan wrestlers for an entire night." And he said, "If we're not the main event, the only way I'm going to show up to Forbidden Door is if we're match number one." So MJF is pulling the old Brock Lesnar. If I'm not in the main event, we're going first. So I guess that's your opening match tomorrow night, which I love it. MJF and Tanahashi kick off the show, and Okada and Danielson's the main event. I love it. I love it, man. I think that's a great choice to open up your show with. MJF and Tanahashi get the juices flowing, you know, and what's going to be a fantastic night. And I hope tonight for Tanahashi, I hope it was a kind of, get the rust off a little bit, get the process going, because it did feel like for a little bit that he was trying to keep up with Swerve, and Swerve had to slow down so that uh, Tanahashi could keep up with him. So, is Tanahashi going to be able to keep up with MJF? I think he will. I think I'm really excited for this match tomorrow night. I said on the predictions video with Weston Camp that there's 3 matches I'm extremely looking forward to tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to all of them. It's a fantastic card. But the 3 matches that I'm looking forward to the most, obviously, the 2 big matches, Omega Ospreay and Danielson Okada. And the other one's MJF Tanahashi. I think those 2 are going to work really well together, and they're going to put on a great match. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be a great match, and it's going to open up Forbidden Doors. So we had Brody King of the House of Black take on Andrade El Idolo. This was a great match. An absolute banger of a match between Brody King and Andrade El Idolo. And last week, Andrade put on a banger with Buddy Matthews. And it was a 2 completely different style match. Last week, it was just great wrestling, and both of them were going after their former injuries with Buddy's knee and Andrade's torn pec. Brody King was going after the torn pec of Andrade the entire match. However, these guys were beating the crap out of each other the entire match. It was awesome. It felt like a fight. And Brody King, Andrade's chest was so red, man. It was super red, and Brody King was just he was having his way with Andrade. Um, and Andrade got a couple nice maneuvers on him. Nice moonsault onto the outside. His head went barricade right into the barricade, which is kind of scary to see. He quickly recovered, though. He did hit the double knees. He was able to kick out of it, and Brody King was giving him a couple more hard shots. And at the end, Andrade hit hammerlock DDT onto Brody King, and he was getting into figure eight. And last week, he tapped out Buddy Matthews with figure eight. He gets Brody King into figure eight, and very rare in AEW, Andrade I'm sorry, not Andrade. Buddy Matthews comes out and he takes out Andrade, and we get a disqualification. So Andrade defeats Brody King via disqualification. That's super rare for DQ in AEW. But you're protecting the big man. They protected Brody King, and they left Andrade laying for help. A couple months ago, last summer, this guy was in a faction with Roosh, and Dragon Lee was around, and now he's in WWE NXT. They tried to recruit Preston Vance. Took months for him. They got Dralistico. This dude is getting the crap beat out of him, and no one's coming out to save him. Nobody's saving him. Does he just have no friends? Does Andrade have no friends in the locker room that no one wants to come out and help this man? I mean, my God, he was getting beat up 2-on-1 by two great athletes in Brody King and Buddy Matthews. But in all seriousness, they left him laying. Malachi Black was on the Titantron, and Julia Hart was holding up the mask of Andrade El Idolo that he wears during his entrance. So Julia Hart has stolen the mask of Andrade. I don't know where this is going, but I'm interested because Andrade's great and all the members of the House of Black are great. I don't know if this is going to lead to Andrade finding two guys to take on the House of Black for the trios titles. I don't know if this is going to lead to Andrade in a one-on-one match with Malachi Black with some stipulation on the line. I don't know, but I'm interested. I'm interested because I love all these guys, and I'm confident in Tony Khan to make the right choice. If this is done right, this could be one of the top feuds on AEW Collision for the next couple months, if done right, and I think it will be. So I'm excited to see what's next for all these guys. We got Tony Schiavone back in the ring, and he brings out Christian Cage and the TNT champion, Luchasaurus. Now, last week, Wardlow lost the TNT championship to Luchasaurus when Christian hit Wardlow in the back of the head with a camera, and Luchasaurus got the pinfall. Christian Cage was running all around the ring. He was acting like a kid on Christmas, and he stole the TNT championship. Luchasaurus did not even touch the TNT championship last week. Christian Cage was parading around the ring with the TNT championship, acting like he won the TNT championship. And this week, he gets introduced. He comes out, and he's holding the TNT championship around his shoulder. So this is great. This is great. This is awesome work by Christian. And he gets on the microphone, and before he even says a word, he's from Toronto, so the crowd is chanting his name. They're chanting Christian Cage, Christian Cage, and he quickly shut that down. He was like, Tony, Last week, I left the show in a very bad mood, but he said it quickly got better because I knew I would be going into my hometown next week here in Toronto as the TNT champion. The crowd erupted in a cheer, and they gave Christian another Christian Cage chant, and he said, "Now I realized I'm in an even worse mood when I landed in Toronto." And the crowd was booing, so this man is so good at being a heel. He's such a prick too, which is awesome to see. But he's so good as a heel that in his hometown he got the crowd to boo him. So um, he's talking to the crowd. He's like, last week, you know, the TNT Wardlow lost the TNT championship, and he said this city is full of losers, and it's full of loser mentality, and they settle for mediocrity. However, I do not settle for mediocrity, so I had to get out of Toronto to win championships. And he's like, the Maple Leafs, he started burying the Maple Leafs. He said the Maple Leafs hadn't been able to win the playoff series in 19 years, and this year they get out of the first round, and what do they do in the second round? They choke, just like Wardlow did last week. He choked. And he said the only success you had in Toronto was when the Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship in 2019. And um, the only reason you guys won was because of Kawhi Leonard. And then this dude gives credit. He gives himself credit for the reason why Kawhi left Toronto. I mean, come on, dude. He hit it right on the head. Kawhi was the reason why the Raptors won the championship in 2019. And so now he gets into the championship. And he says, as far as the TNT championship goes, there will be no more open challenges for the TNT championship. You have to earn your shot to get in line and earn it for the TNT championship. You have to earn it just like I did last week and just like my right-hand man of destruction, Luchasaurus, did. And he goes out and he says, where's the line? Hold on, I gotta find it now because it's something he does a little shot at at Cody Rhodes. God, I gotta find it. Hold on. Okay. He then goes on and he says, I'm not going to sit here and act like I created this championship. This isn't going to be a vanity project like another guy who used it to ride the roads here in AEW. That got a big cheer in favor for Christian Cage when he dropped that line. Obviously, that was in reference for Cody Rhodes when he created the TNT Championship, and he was the first ever TNT champion. And then his last line, he says, I will take this championship. We will take this championship to new heights. I will make this championship the most prestigious and sought after championship in AEW. And him and Luchasaurus leave in boos. Great stuff. The biggest positive coming out of last week with this result was that we're going to get more Christian Cage on TV. And if we're going to get promos by this man every week on Collision, I'm not going to complain because he's really good. And again, I feel bad for Wardlow. Again, Wardlow is on the bad end of this. He's on the receiving end of another big TNT championship loss. But obviously, this storyline is going somewhere with Christian and Luchasaurus. And if that's gonna put the TNT championship in a better situation then I'm all for it because God knows that that title has been in the dumps for well over a year now. And it's not the same title as it was. And Orange Cassidy's title, the international title, has leaped over it. It's just better now. So we're done with that, and we go into the Women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament first round match. Willow Nightingale against Nyla Rose. This match went about 10 minutes. This wasn't the best Willow Nightingale match I've ever seen. The match was okay. She won with a spin out powerbomb. She won, which is important because she should be one of the top names that win this tournament. Her, Sky Blue, Athena, those are probably my top three. Sky Blue won last night. Willow defeated Nyla Rose tonight. And tomorrow night we have Athena against Billy Stark in the 0 hour for the buy-in. After the match, the Outcasts come out. Saraya is back with them. She's out with Ruby Soho and Tony Storm, and they're surrounding the ring like they're about to attack Willow. Then Sky Blue comes out with a steel chair, chases them off, and that's the end of that. So, should be a good match tomorrow night, but tomorrow, Willow is not beating Tony Storm. It's just not happening with her now in the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Makes no sense for her to win tomorrow. Scorpio Sky is in the back with Lexi Nair. It's good to see Scorpio Sky, man. We have not seen Scorpio Sky on AEW television since he lost the TNT Championship to Wardlow last July. That is nearly over a year. That's a long time. So he's back with Lexi Nair, and he said, when I first came into AEW, it got me out of my head. It got me out of the lowest of lows in my life, and I became a new me. And they showed the video package of myself, and quite frankly, I was upset by that because I was in my own shadow during my run. And during that time, when I was in my own shadow, I became the first ever AEW Tag Team Champions with one of my best friends, a 2-time TNT champion, and a Face of a Revolution ladder match winner. And that was when I was in the shadows. And now I'm free, and I'm all by myself, and I'm going to show all of you what I'm capable of when I'm out of the shadow. Can't wait to see him back in action. Very underrated. Very underrated wrestler. What they're gonna do with Scorpio Sky on Collision, I don't know. Gonna have to wait and see. Powerhouse Hobbs had a match tonight. Squash match, 2 minutes. Beautiful spine buster, and gets the win. Heading into his Owen Hart Cup tournament match tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night. Next week against Dustin Rhodes. Speaking of tomorrow night, they added 4 new matches. This is all taking part of 0 hour that starts at 7 o'clock right before the show. Stu Grayson takes on El Phantasmo from New Japan. Swerve Strickland and the Gates of Agni will face Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero, Trent, and El Desperado. We're going to have United Empire's Kyle Fletcher, Jeff Cobb, and TJP, of all people, the junior heavyweight champion, against LIJ's Shingo Takagi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Bushi. And we will have the women's Owen Hart quarterfinal between Athena and Billy Starks. So we have 4 matches on the 0 hour um, for Forbidden Door, and then really quickly your lineup for tomorrow night: Bryan Danielson and Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Championship. MJF defends the AEW World Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Sonata defends the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Jungle Boy. CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima in the first round match in the Men's Owen Hart Cup tournament. Tony Storm defends the AEW Women's Championship against Willow Nightingale. The New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Orange Cassidy defends the All-Atlantic Championship against Daniel Garcia. Ring of Honor Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata. And New Japan World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. Sting and Darby Allin team up with Tetsuya Naito to face Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, and Sammy Guevara. John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino take on the Elite, the Young Bucks, Adam Hangman Page, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii. Adam Cole will face Filthy Tom Lawler, and that's it. That's the main card tomorrow night for Forbidden Door. And then next week, Collision, AEW World Champion MJF will make his first appearance on Collision. He's going to have a match. He's going to have a match next week on Collision. And then we got 3 Men's Owen Hart Cup tournament matches. Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson. Dustin Rhodes versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe. See, I like that. They announced 4 matches for next week's Collision. So going into next week's show, you already know what you're going to get. I love it. You didn't know what you were going to get until Wednesday night. This week, you're going to know a week later. I hope AEW keeps doing that. Main event, CM Punk, the AEW Tag Team Champions FTR, and Ricky Starks. They faced Bullet Club Gold's Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. And I'll tell you what, man. You can tell Tony Khan is really invested in the Guns. Their entrance is amazing. It's so cool, dude. Shooting the Guns, the arena darkens out, and when they put up gun symbols, they spit water out, kind of like Triple H does in his entrance. But every time they put up the gun, they spit out water. It's really cool. They look like stars out there. Their entrance makes them look like absolute stars. CM Punk came out, and there were loud boos. And there were also CM Punk chants. CM Punk was definitely on the road tonight. He was not home. He definitely had a road match tonight. And it was 70%. It was 70% booing, and it was 30% CM Punk chants. I'm telling you right now, there's only 6,000 people in that building tonight. Tomorrow, there's going to be about 12,000. The boos are going to be louder tomorrow. I cannot wait to see the reaction that Punk gets tomorrow. That is going to be something else. That's going to be something else. Believe it or not, just my opinion, this 8-man tag was better than last week's 6-man tag. Unpopular opinion. I'm not saying the match last week sucked. I thought it was a really fun 6-man. But I enjoyed this even more. The in-ring action was better. The in-ring action was great in both matches. But just something about this match I felt was better. And they really got me in shock at the end when the heels won. CM Punk was getting his ass beat most of the match by the Guns, Juice Robinson, who was great in this match, and Jay White. I gotta see a one-on-one match between Punk and Jay White sooner rather than later. Whether they save that for All In or whether that's a match on Collision, I would love to see a match between those guys sooner rather than later. So Punk was getting his ass kicked throughout the whole match. He wasn't getting the hot tag. Ricky Starks got the hot tag from Punk. He was going crazy on the Guns, Juice Robinson, Jay White. He was hitting spears all over the place on Jay White, on Colton Gunn, on Austin Gunn. The finish came when Dax Harwood got back body dropped onto the outside of the floor. Cash Wheeler came out of nowhere, and this was Darby Allin-esque suicide dive from Cash Wheeler, and it's so rare that we see this from him. He did a suicide dive, and he was running as fast as Darby Allin. And I swear to God, man, if there was not a barricade at ringside, he would have gotten into at least the third row. He was going fast, full speed. He was flying at those guys. And he landed like back first onto the barricade. The referee had to go out and check on him. He's like, yeah, I'm good. So we get back into the ring. And we got Jay White and Ricky Starks in the ring. Starks hits a spear on Jay White. He's looking for the Rochambeau. Jay White pushes him off. Juice Robinson gives him a punch with a roll of quarters. If you guys didn't see Dynamite, Juice Robinson used a roll of quarters when he punched Jeff Hardy in the face. He used it again tonight on Ricky Starks. And tonight it worked because it went right into a Blade Runner. And Jay White pinned Ricky Starks, 1, 2, 3. And an upset win, the heels. Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns defeat CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks. Now after the match, all 4 guys are in the ring celebrating. Jay White throws up the gun sign, and all 4 guys come in and they throw up the gun sign. The Guns are officially in Bullet Club Gold, and I like this move. The young tag team that you can clearly tell that Tony Khan loves from their entrance. I was talking about this on the stream during this match. I remember back in the days when I was watching AEW Dark like 3 years ago during the pandemic. These guys were coming out with their dad as baby faces. These guys were green as grass in the ring. And 3 years later, man, heels, main eventing Collision, they got so much better. And it shows in the ring, man. They're awesome. They're awesome wrestlers. They got good characters. And they're in a big faction. And now Bullet Club Gold looks like more of a faction. You have Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. And I think you get one more guy to round out that faction. You don't have to add him for a while. But you get one more guy in there, and I think you got yourself a good faction. And for the faction, I would get a big guy in there. And the 2 I'm thinking about is either Wardlow, because he just needs to go heel, and I think him being in Bullet Club Gold wouldn't be a terrible idea. I would either do Wardlow or I would do Big Bill, because Big Bill, you've also seen how much he's gotten better, and how much he's climbed the ladder in AEW since he first got there over a year ago. He's putting on good matches, and he's clearly, Tony Khan likes him because he was in the big spot at Double or Nothing and the Dynamite following up. I think Big Bill and Bullet Club Gold would be great, because let's be honest, the firm is going absolutely nowhere. They made that faction all jobbers. Like literally, Lee Moriarty's a jobber. No offense, but he is. And Big Bill's too good for the firm. So to round out that faction, I would either put Wardlow or Big Bill in there. And then you got yourself a really nice faction in Bullet Club Gold. So, that's all I got for you guys tonight. That's all I got for the Collision review tonight. Really good show. Enjoy the show tonight. And you know what? We're going to do it again tomorrow. Again, I don't get done work till 7. And I know they added 3 buy-in matches. So, I don't know what time I'll get out at work. But when I get out, I'll try to get on the stream as soon as possible. I know that. So, be on the lookout on Twitter for updates and stuff. But man, it was a fun night tonight. It was a fun 2 hours. It flew by, and I can't wait to do it tomorrow, man. I'm absolutely stoked for this Forbidden Door pay-per-view. The lineup, the anticipation, the hype. It's unreal, man. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. Comment down below your thoughts on tonight's episode of AEW Collision from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me, and follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. I was live tweeting a bit during the show tonight, and I'm going to be live tweeting tomorrow night while I'm on the watch along for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. I'm so excited for tomorrow night, guys. Chat, it was a good night. Let's make it even better tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. I'm out. Peace.